want to spend a little bit of time on the MVP side, right? And I think I personally spend a lot of time with founders at that kind of -1 to 0 idea type stage. You step out with some view of the world, some POV, you're trying to validate it. I, I I think that first V1, I think that's kind of changed a lot, right? From back in the day where you had, the drop boxes as case studies and render runways and all that. And now with AI, kind of, you can do so much more.
Yeah.
But I think more from a philosophy or approach perspective, what are some of the things that you have seen kind of work well? And even in terms of launching new features, maybe even now at Prodigal, right? Even at scale.
So at this -1 to 0 kind of scale, I think I still believe a lot in the MVP stuff. And the specifics of what it means, again, is very different. But I like a formulation that probably was popularized by Zynga, which is like, hey, what is the core loop? Zynga was this popular gaming company, is a popular gaming company, especially on the Facebook marketplace. And what is the core loop of value? And basically, like someone does an action, gets value out of it, gets delight out of it. And how do you solve it? And especially in the -1 to 0 stage, you need to go after the innovators and early adopters. Anyone who's especially doing enterprise software should read this book called Crossing the Chasm by Jeff Moore. And he kind of describes it in fairly good detail, relevant detail. And so going after the innovators and early adopters and giving them that core loop is super important. And that is a constant. That has not changed. Now, what is the form factor of the core loop is obviously changing. And in many cases, ChatGPT has made some of those form factor pieces very easy to iterate, build, take down, rebuild, and so on and so forth. Which is something we also embrace a lot, and which is something everyone should. But at the heart of it, innovators and early adopters aren't necessarily sticklers for the look and feel of it. I'm not saying design is not important, it very much is, but they actually are willing to pop the hood and see what's underneath. And so to that extent, even your end deliverable in that stage might be an Excel sheet, might be an emailed PDF report. All of that is probably fine for them, but they should, and you should feel in their eyes and gut that they are getting that core loop value, and then they're delighted by it. That is in my mind an MVP. Whether it is balsamic wire frameworks, which were really popular 10 years back, or something that is like vibe coded from directly into like Lovable or Bold. Those tricks or the means to the end will change, but that delighting the innovator persona with that core loop value is something that you need to be sure you're seeing, and that basically makes up your conviction. So as an investor, I think that's what I also look at from time to time, which is, does the founding team believe in their gut that they understand the core loop, even if it's just an email thing? And that is where a lot of people get conviction from just sending an email and watching a customer's response to that email can also be that MVP, push comes to shove. But again, it's taking something as lightweight as that and building a fully ready front end is actually become really, really easy. It's basically overnight now. So encourage everyone to do it, but that don't let that obfuscate whether you have found a core loop or not.